Right, let's talk London housing. It's a mess, mate, a proper shambles, if you ask me. A right Bobby Dazzler of a crisis. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. We're talking about a city where teachers, nurses, firefighters, the backbone of our community, can't afford to live. These are the people who keep the city ticking, yet they're being priced out. They're forced out, pushed to the fringes, their commutes longer than a politician's promise. Imagine spending hours just to get to work, only to return to a place that barely feels like home. This isn't just about bricks and mortar, you see, it's about people. Real people with real lives, dreams and aspirations. Families crammed into cramped flats, young professionals shelling out half their wages for a box room. It's a struggle day in and day out. The dream of owning a home, forget it, sunshine, that's a fairy tale for most, and it's getting worse. The idea of a white picket fence, just a distant dream. Wages are stagnant, rents are soaring. It's a vicious cycle that seems never ending. The gap between the haves and the have-nots, wider than the Thames. The rich get richer, while the rest are left to fend for scraps. This isn't just a housing crisis, it's a social crisis, a moral crisis. It's a reflection of our values and priorities as a society. It's time to face facts. London is on the brink. We need to act, and we need to act now. The future of our city depends on it. Take Sarah, a teaching assistant from Hackney. She works tirelessly, educating our kids, shaping the future of our society. Yet she can barely afford to feed herself, let alone dream of owning a flat. The cost of living is skyrocketing and her salary just doesn't keep up. Last year, her rent went up by 15%. 15%. It's daylight robbery. How can anyone survive like this? Then there's David, a junior doctor working 70-hour weeks to keep our NHS afloat. He's dedicated, passionate, and exhausted. He shares a cramped flat with 3 other people, miles away from the hospital. Privacy is a luxury he can't afford. The commute is a killer, but what choice does he have? Every day he spends hours traveling, time that could be spent resting or with loved ones. These are just 2 stories among thousands. Each person has their own unique struggle, but the common thread is the housing crisis. The statistics paint a grim picture. The numbers are staggering and disheartening. The average house price in London is now over £700,000. That's more than 13 times the average Londoner's salary. How can anyone hope to buy a home under these conditions? It's utter madness. We need change, and we need it now. The government must step in, policies must be reformed, and affordable housing must become a priority. Only then can we hope to see a brighter future for people like Sarah and David. So, what's the solution? Well, some say we need to build more homes. Sounds simple, right? But it's not that easy. London's a crowded place, and finding space to build is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And even if we do build more, there's no guarantee they'll be affordable. Developers with their eyes on profit are more likely to build luxury flats for foreign investors than homes for ordinary Londoners. We need homes for people, not for profit. Section 4, thinking outside the bricks, creative solutions. Right, so building alone won't cut it. We need to rethink how we approach housing. We need to get creative. Traditional methods are not enough to meet the growing demand. Some bright sparks are coming up with innovative solutions. These ideas are not just theoretical, they are being put into practice. Modular housing, built off-site and slotted together like Lego, could be a game changer. This method allows for quicker assembly and less disruption to the surrounding area. Faster, cheaper, and more sustainable. What's not to like? Using sustainable materials also reduces the environmental impact. Then there's the idea of co-housing, where people share communal spaces and resources. This model promotes social interaction and mutual support. It's a great way to combat loneliness and build a sense of community. People can share responsibilities and enjoy communal activities. And let's not forget about empty homes. These properties are often overlooked but hold great potential. There are thousands of them across London gathering dust while people struggle to find a roof over their heads. These homes could be revitalized to provide much-needed housing. Seizing these properties and turning them into affordable housing could be a quick win. Renovating these homes can provide immediate relief to the housing crisis. By thinking outside the bricks, we can find creative solutions to the housing problem. It's about innovation, community, and making the most of what we already have. With these creative solutions, we can build a brighter, more sustainable future for everyone. Section 5, Government Grip Policies and Promises. So where do the politicians fit into all of this? Well, they talk a good game, but actions speak louder than words. We need bold policies, not empty promises. Rent controls for a start. It's time to stop landlords holding tenants hostage with extortionate rent hikes. And let's talk about social housing. We need a massive investment in council housing, building genuinely affordable homes for those who need them most. No more selling off council homes on the cheap. It's time to put people before profit. Section 6. Private players. Part of the problem or the solution. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about the private sector? Well, they've got a role to play too, but they need to step up and take some responsibility. Building more affordable homes shouldn't be seen as a burden, but as an investment in the future of our city. And let's not forget about ethical investment. Pension funds, for example, could be investing in affordable housing, providing decent homes for people while securing long-term sustainable returns. It's a win-win. Section 7. Join the fight for affordable London. Look, the situation is dire, but it's not hopeless. We can fix this, but it'll take all of us. We need to keep the pressure on our elected officials, make our voices heard and demand change. Sign the petitions, join the protests, and let them know that Londoners deserve better. This is our city, and we won't be pushed out. Subscribe now for more updates on this developing story. Together we can build a London that works for everyone.